Good morning. This is Coach Jack Daniels of the Boxers Training Channel, the godfather of boxing. That's who I call myself. I call myself the godfather of boxing because I know this boxing, right? And it's as long as it takes me to convince y'all that I am actually the godfather of boxing based on my background in the boxing community, in the boxing world, in the boxing scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? I am going to be consistent in putting it on y'all's mind that I'm the godfather of boxing. Okay, nobody in the uh, podcast, YouTube business tell me anything about boxing. Now we can debate boxing, right? But at the end of the day, I assure you, based on the fact that I am actually one of the older cats in the boxing scheme of things, in the boxing game, uh, I think that I am virtually more knowledgeable than most of these cats, or all these cats in the podcast business, and in being a pundit when it comes to boxing. So that being said, look, Eddie Hearn was trying to make a fight between Brian Norman and Jaron Boots Ennis, right? But for some uh, unlogical, unrealistic uh, issue, and I would like to add that had something to do with money, money, right? That fight couldn't be made. Now I don't know if Brian Norman intentionally um, outmarketed himself with the numbers, right? I do know that there was a nice amount of money on the table for Brian Norman. It probably would have been one of his biggest pay. I'm quite sure it would have been his biggest payday. I think it was a million and a half. He turned that down. I think he wanted two, right? And based on the fact that Brian Norman has a outstanding record, he is actually the WBO welterweight champion of the world, right? And he did bring something to the table to negotiate with. Now, I must add that Eddie Hearn's Matchroom uh, CEO and promoter, right, has I have a reputation with believing that I have a reputation in believing that Eddie Hearn is a fair promoter when it comes to paying his boxers, right? I believe that he is an ethical human being when it comes to promoting his fights, and I believe that he pays his boxers up under his umbrella adequately. Now, for me to hear that Eddie Hearn was having a problem with paying Brian Norman a minimum amount of money, right, which would have been in the range of 1.5, I based that on the fact that most of the Devin Haney fights were uh, 1.5, right? That's what Devin Haney's opponents normally receive, 1.5. So it would be illogical for me to believe that Matchroom, as was said by a couple of pundits, that Matchroom offered Brian Norman something like 200,000, maybe 300,000, something of that sort, right? I found that hard to believe, and it was alleged from those advocating that Eddie Hearns wasn't being fair. Typically, in my opinion, have the um, unworthiness to make unrealistic statements. Now, I'm not going to go off in the point of fingers at who that pundit is, who that YouTuber is, but I'm quite sure you know how I feel about a one particular dude because I've made that perfectly clear. I'm just not going to go on and over pointing fingers at this cat because it serves no purpose. So, shout out to D Mexican G. What's cracking, homie? You got the best hand, Mexican G. So, I just wanted to say that I think absolutely he looked it was a real stuff that I think that I think we was on during that fight, you and I, and witnessed that fight, if I'm not mistaken, right? The guy I can't recall that guy's name, but he was good. And Brian is bringing something to the table, like I was explaining to the people in the chat. He's bringing the WBO welterweight championship belt to the table when he was trying to get corner Jaron who's in the ring, and he's 23 years of age. He's 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach. He is a right-hander. He's 26 wins, 20 by knockout, 0 stops. He's never lost and no draws. Right there, you go. Giovanni Centinellis, right, was the guy that Brian Norman knocked out, right? But it was a good fight. It was a good fight. I'm telling you, they both were throwing leather. You know what I mean? And up until the stoppage, the judges was going to have a problem. Yeah, the judges was going to have a problem judging that fight because it was that good. It was that close, right? Um, Giovanni kept Norman on the ropes throughout that whole fight up until the stoppage, right? I mean, hey, trust me when I say they was banging, both of them, right? Okay, and Brad Norman is the WBO welterweight champion of the world, right? So what they did was, since they couldn't get that fight made with Jaron Ennis, Matchroom, Top Rank Boxing made the fight between Derrieck Cuevas. Right? He's ranked number 7 by the WBO. He's 29 years of age, 5'9". He's a right-hander. He has 27 big wins, 19 by knockout. He has 1 loss, never been stopped, and no draws, right? So he, on paper, appears to be a pretty good fighter on paper. Now, I did do some tape on him, and he does have the ability to defend himself adequately. So, with that being said, it should be a good fight between Cuevas and and Brian Norman, right? But now, Brian Norman has made it perfectly clear that he wants all the smoke. Uh-oh. 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 I made a heavy boo-boo. Hey, I made a boo-boo, y'all. I made a huge. Look at me. But I'm back on. But I need to get back into the frame. That's what I'm doing. I need to get back into the frame. Oh, that is not working, people. I'm having a delayed presence, and it's not working. But now I gotta do what I gotta do. So, I did get all the particulars involved to y'all in regards to this fight and the circumstances around the fight. So, I think I've caught up from the delayed response. But, um, I'm just saying, I think this is gonna be a good fight. I think it might be a fight that, might catapult Brian Norman to the next level in his career, especially if he wins. I'm quite sure that he will, because there's a lot of chatter behind Brian Norman and his father's belief that he wants all the smoke, and he's taking on all challenges, or none. In fact, I might make mention of the fact that he actually called out Teofimo Lopez, and I took the position that he would not get that fight between Teofimo Lopez based on the fact that him and his father, Brian Norman Sr., kind of like castrated Teofimo Lopez in the sense that it was Brian Norman Jr. was going to whoop Teofimo Lopez, and I mean some bad. So that being said, Teofimo Lopez obviously heard that interview, and knowing Teofimo Lopez, like I know Teofimo Lopez can be easily dissuaded from boxing someone if they press upon him that uh, they're gonna whoop his butt. So, and I said, I took the liberty and said that I believe that that fight wasn't going to be made. True to fall, that fight didn't get made. Allegations that I presented in regards to Teofimo Lopez being a certified duck came true. So, that being said, hit the subscription button, hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, and tell me what you think about Teofimo Lopez, particularly, and his constant ability to duck those that say they're gonna whoop his hiney. And share my videos with your friends and relatives. And this is what I need you. I need you to hit that bell icon so you will know when I'm coming back with another thousand video. That being said, I got to find a way to get stepping. Peace out.